Chris Chinnock in the Rockwell Collins booth at ITSEC 2013. You're showing actually a number of simulation products. We're going to focus on the CoreSim product. Nick Scarnato is here with Rockwell Collins to explain the basic the concept here of the CoreSim. Nick, tell us what is this?
Chris, I'd love to give you a little bit more insight into our core simulation architecture. It's actually a framework we developed in our commercial simulation environments that would allow us to be able to get to market a lot quicker than our competition and also be able to provide solutions at much better price points for our customers. And what we've done now, we've adapted that over into our military applications. And in this case, what you'll see is an application where we actually have a solution for a military fast jet using the core simulation architecture. It comes with its own debrief and after-action review solution that is identical across every one of these displays as far as a framework and architecture. It is scalable and open from full flight FAA level D all the way down the desktop application. One of the power of Core that we could bring forward to you is where we could actually build a page on the fly. So if you think in terms of trying to reduce instructor workload and processing time for that instructor to be able to develop or bring a particular training solution to a student, we have the ability here. You notice we're just going to create a page called ITSEC. It'll drop basically a screen for us that allow us to be able to drag and drop a window that will be basically creating a page on the fly. And you'll notice we're dragging and dropping elements from other pages onto that screen. You'll notice we're not recompiling. You notice we have not put anything on freeze in any of the applications that we're doing. And you'll notice those buttons work immediately. So that open framework, which allows us to be able
What exactly are you dragging in there? What are those features?
So those are actual widgets that we're bringing through. In this case, we brought in a GPS fail for a malfunction. We brought in flight freeze. And I think we also brought in pressure altitude earlier on one of the pages.
So you can customize the scenario on the fly.
Specific to a particular student's needs, or if an instructor wants to be able to look at certain iOS pages, in this case, instructor operator station pages, to allow him to be able to stay focused as to what he needs to be focused on as it relates to a specific training student need.
Okay, and the advantage of this is now you can do this, like you said, on the fly. With other solutions, you basically have to go back to the developer and say, I'd like to create this scenario. You wait for the developers to do this, to deliver the product. That could take weeks or months, correct?
Absolutely. So what we did is we basically took out of the equation the amount of design time and development time that would be required to be able to develop the code and the graphical user interface that we have here on the instructor operator station to shorten that time to market gap, allow the student to be able to get a much better, richer training environment, but at the same time providing the tools the instructor needs to be able to deliver that training media solution to a particular student. So what we ended up doing is taking all of the time that you would spend for design, development, and compiling of code, eliminated that, and allowed us to be able to tailor a solution specific to each instructor's needs.
This, I hate to sound terrible, but this seems kind of obvious that someone would do this. Why aren't your competitors doing this?
Well, one thing that we think is that if in our industry, FAA level D tends to be the standard, and a lot of the instructor operator stations that are out there, Chris, for example, are pretty much standard solutions across the industry. Where you tend to see a little bit of difference is where you have the ability to deliver that training specific to a particular student's needs. So you may have a student that's having problems with engine flame out or touch and goes, or landing in adverse weather effects. Well, you could develop pages on the fly so that the instructor could stay focused on that particular situation for that particular student. And as a result, it's a much richer learning environment for that student.
Wow. Very cool. Great. Thank you, Nick.
You bet, Chris. Thank you.
Chris Chinnock for Display Central.